Mielke. We are diving into our Your Divine Fingerprint. If you've been tuning in at all this year, we've started a new book. And we go through a book every single morning to help you with your mindset. Today, we are going to talk about leadership. Now, if you got to this chapter and you already were like, oh, that's not me, or I actually labeled this live, the most important person you will ever lead is... Or let's just say that you don't count yourself as a leader. You don't see yourself as a leader. Maybe you don't even love that word. I don't want you to tune out. I don't want you to check out. I want you to actually listen to what I have to read to you. If you're reading the book, great. If you're following along, great. The point is that you can listen to something in the morning to get your mindset on point, on track, to dominate your day. I actually do have a question for you. Put a 1 in the chat if you see yourself as a leader. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't. And it's not bad. Like, if you're like, I actually don't see myself as a leader right now, it's totally fine. But if you want to participate, I love it when people participate. I love it where you tell me where you're tuning in from. I love seeing comments because it makes me feel like I'm not just chatting with myself. I like to say collaboration is currency. So put a 1 in the chat if you see yourself a leader. Put a 2 in the chat if you do not. And it's not wrong. It's not, there's nothing bad, or you're not going to, like, nobody's going to judge you either way. And so I looked at this chapter and I was like, it'll be interesting to see what people think of this chapter, because a lot of this book is about you, your divine fingerprint, your greatness. What do you have to offer to the world? Your values, your 1% factor that affects people around you. Like, what are your gifts and your talents? So you might see the word leadership and go, all right. So we're going to dive right in. If at any point, if you didn't listen to the beginning of the book, you can always go to KetoMomSecrets.com. So we have a blog, a website, KetoMomSecrets.com. Click on book club. You can click on how to get started. There's recipes, anything that you need. You can go there and check it out. You can actually send me a message and I will chat with you about your goals, how to get started, maybe a foods list. Maybe you want to know more about drinking ketones, intermittent fasting, whatever questions you have, go to the website or send me a message and I would love to help you. Now, this chapter, if you're following along, chapter 6 is called Your Leadership. And I labeled this live, the first person, what did I say? The most important person that you should be leading is, do you guys know the answer? Yourself. It's yourself. It is yourself. I think oftentimes we think, I was wondering how many parents maybe said, like, my kids or my employees or whatever would have came out of somebody's mouth. It is yourself. If you can't lead yourself, why would others follow you? And that would even include your kids or your spouse. Or oftentimes we think, like, I've got to tell this person what to do and this person what to do, right? Yes, sorry, I got distracted by comments. I'm not going to comment on comments right now, but I'd like to see what you're saying. And I will send you a message at the end. All right, listen to this. So our author, Pastor Keith Craft, he's got a church in Frisco, Texas. He said this. He's like, what does leadership truly mean? And he gives tons of stories. He gives you tons of names of people that have written books about leadership. He's like, there's not a shortage of leadership books, right? And there's tons of different ways somebody would say a leader or define a leader. Here's what I want to read to you. He says this, your 1% factor, your greatness, leadership in general always starts or should start with a way of thinking first. That determines your way of being. That becomes the way of you doing. It really starts with your thinking. Leadership starts up here. And in general, it's going to be you leading yourself. Do you get up in the morning? Do you lead your family by example with having a positive attitude? Are you reading? Are you working on your mindset? Are you leading your children by example by taking care of your health? You don't have to bark at people all the time if you feel like you need to be doing this and you need to be doing this. We have teenagers in our home. Anybody else have teenagers in their home? I feel like, I'm sure you've heard this before, but 100% believe this with everything in me. More is caught than taught. More is caught than taught, right? Meaning, you don't have to bark at your children. You don't have to point out all of their things they're doing wrong. You don't have to be like, you should be. But if you're leading yourself as a parent, your children will see that. If you're taking care of your health, don't you think they'd want to take care of their health? If you're working on moving your body and going to the gym, or you're being mindful about reading, or you're watching your words and you're openly communicating with your spouse or your children, in your home, don't you think it would bring more awareness to them? As you lead yourself, you're going to lead others. All right. So he says, your attitude is the hinge that the door of your destiny swings on. Your attitude is you. It goes, your attitude, your behavior, and your actions, you start with your thinking, and that is a part of leadership. It's leading you. And so he tells a ton of stories. I'm not going to read all of them to you. I just underlined a couple of things I love that he said. He says, it is a lifetime commitment to lead your mind, your thinking, your attitude, your being, and your body, your doing every day. It is guarding your heart, governing your mind, and guiding your body to do what you want it to do. That is a part of leadership. That's a part of this chapter. Is as you're figuring out your divine fingerprint, the things that you're called to do, your greatness, your 1% factor, the things that you have inside of you that the world needs, part of it is you leading, right? Working on your mindset, taking action on the things you know you need to do. Leadership is a way of thinking. So he gives a ton of stories, a ton of examples. In the book, he says, I'm going to give you some ideas. There's leadership and there's normalship. And all he did, if you have the book, is he made a list, which I thought was really great. A list of things like, I'll give you an example. He goes, leadership is like live with a transcendent cause. Normalship is live with what is in it for me, right? Leadership, embrace resistance. Normalship, resist resistance. Leadership, refuse to be offended. Normalship, exercise your right to be offended. And it goes all down the list of different things of like what leadership is versus normalship. And you might have said in the beginning, I'm not a leader. Maybe in your mind, a leader is like somebody that governs you. Maybe you think of like a boss. Maybe you think of like, they're telling me what to do, but this is different. This is like you are leading yourself in the places that you want to go, in your mindset, in your thinking, in your actions. And nothing on this list of leadership says that somebody's governing over you. It's a character trait. It's a way that you handle situations. It's, let me read you a couple of things. I love this one. Leading yourself first, leadership. Normalship is want others to change first. That's huge, right? Or extend mercy is leadership. Pronouncing judgment is normalship. Proactive leadership, procrastination, normalship. So all of these things have nothing to do with somebody governing you or somebody else leading you, but you leading yourself in your character. And yesterday we talked about core values. And this book is intended for you to figure out you, not to give you a list of 1 through 10 of how to hit your health goals or how to lose fat. But what this is doing is it's giving you an understanding of I need to lead myself in right thinking and right doing, becoming the best version of me so I can hit my goals and I can lead others around me to do the same, or at least encourage others around me to do the same. I'm going to read something to you. I love this it's like a little story kind of. It is by an Angelique. I don't even know. It was written in 1100s. All right. Here's a little paragraph for you. Take this for what it's worth. Listen to it. Take it into your day and think about it. And then you might redefine the word leadership in your life. All right. She said, Angelica. No, I think I'm saying it wrong. An angelic bishop. I thought it was a name. All right. It is. Her name's Abby. Anyways. Doesn't matter. All right. When I was young and free and my imagination had no limits, I dreamed of changing the world. As I grew older and wiser, I discovered that the world would not change. So I shortened my sights somewhat and decided to change only my country. But it too seemed impossible. As I grew into my twilight years, in one last desperate attempt, I settled for changing only my family, those closest to me, but also they would have none of it. And now, as I lie on my deathbed, I suddenly realize if I had only changed myself first, then by example, I would have changed my family. From there, inspired and encouragement, I would have then been able to inspiration, encouragement, I then would have been able to better my country, and then who knows, I may have even changed the world. As this person, as it was written, was lying on their deathbed, realizing I tried to change everybody else around me. I looked at impossible situations, and yet I realized the thing I should have been working on is my leadership, my mindset, leading by example, so that I can better the world around me. So I'm going to say this to you parents because I think it's super important that as you're diving into getting healthy, as you're diving into fat loss, as you're diving into just being the best version of you, take your family along with you, meaning communicate what you're doing, right? Stop saying that mom and dad are on a diet. Stop saying that you're fat. Stop using those words around your kids, because what happens is that gets into your children's minds of mom and dad are eating that because they're on a diet. I can't eat that food. Mom's on a diet. Oh, mom thinks she's fat. She eats a salad. I don't need to eat a salad because I'm a kid. You guys, you'd be shocked at the words that you say and not even thinking about the people watching you and realizing you're leading yourself, but the words that come out of you need to inspire others to join you, not to only think about it as a fat loss diet when someday they need to lose fat. I'm talking just about your health. Like, this has nothing to do, leadership in yourself could be your finances, it could be relationships, it could be your spiritual growth. But in general, the words that are coming out of your mouth is the leadership. It's the things that people are either going to follow you or not follow you. They're going to watch you and be like, they're doing that because, or they're going to be inspired to join you, right? All right, I thought that was great. If you can't lead yourself, it is impossible to lead others. So, man, there were so many stories in this chapter. Here's one more thing I'm going to read to you, and then we're done. All right. Leadership is not about particularly a position. Remember, it's not about somebody governing over you or like barking down rules. Leadership is about a choice. Your ability to choose to lead yourself to be the best you that you can be at all times. Leadership is a choice to think, be, do to the best of your ability at all times. So, my challenge to you is this. If you didn't think you were a leader today and you put 2 in the chat, because in the beginning I said post 1 below. If you think you're a leader, post 2. If not, hopefully those 2s can see yourself as a leader, or you have an awareness of, oh, shoot, I actually need to lead myself, right? Or, you know what? I'm so proud of myself. I actually am leading myself this year. I've decided this year and started this month of working on my mindset, going to the gym, really working on the gifts and talents that I have to offer to people. It's super important because as you do that, it's going to inspire others around you. So you are a leader, you get to lead yourself, or you don't, right? But the first person that you're going to lead is yourself. It's super important. So, all right, that's the chapter that we went through. At any point in time, you can go to ketomomsecrets.com, click on book club, click on anything that you're looking for, send me a message. I am here to help. For those of you who are intermittent fasting and you're going through the 5 days of the intermittent fasting challenge, keep going. Send me a message. If you want to know more about our fasting kits and ketones in general, just post fasting below. It's actually really been fun to watch people's stories, to read how they're feeling, to watch their journey, for them to go, oh my goodness, I feel so great. These are a tool. So if you want to know more about the fasting, intermittent fasting kit, or just ketones in general, just send me a message or post fasting below and we'll chat. Otherwise, have a great day. I look forward to seeing you later.